Hello, this is Beverly from scrapandthread.blogspot.com. Today I wanted to show you how you can make a doily from a corner edge puncher. This one here is the Martha Stewart punch around the page corner puncher called Loops, and I just punched around a big circle and made that doily effect. This next one is also, they're all actually from Martha Stewart's Punch Around the Page sets, and this one is the corner puncher called Double Arches. This next one, you probably guessed it, is Spiderweb. And I did all of these on white so you could see them, but obviously you can use it on any kind of cardstock or pattern paper that you want. This is one of the large punches. It's called the Double Loops Punch, also once again from Martha Stewart. And this pretty little one is the Doily Lace Edge Punch, the corner puncher part of it. And the next one is the it's called the Flower Shower Corner Puncher. And this last one coming up is the corner punch for the heart chain. And now I'm going to show you how I went about doing that to make the doilies. This is the Topiary Punch. I started with a 10 3/4 inch circle, and I cut it with my Cricut machine. And then you need to turn the punch over so you can see where it's going to punch out, because you want to make sure that you don't punch off the edge of the paper, and you need to punch in far enough. It is a corner puncher, so it has those little wings, those little flaps that you can just push in, or if you want them out, it doesn't matter. So then you're going to line up your punch along the edge and make sure that you can still see the white part on there, because if you are off the edge, you're going to cut off the edge of your design. And then you just work your way around the circle, and you want to overlap a little bit so that you can hopefully see that, so you can have part of the punched image from before overlap with your new one that you're punching, so that each punch seems to be somewhat continuous. And this is cardstock, so it does get stuck sometimes. You might have to play with it a little bit, or just take the punch off and kind of reposition it. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at positioning the punch as far as the distance between, and to not make it too close so that you end up cutting off the sections next to it. You obviously don't need to use such a large circle. I'm doing this for a number of reasons. One is that I wanted to show you that you could make it as large as this, so it would be great for a scrapbook page. And the other reason is because sometimes some of the punches will line up perfectly. They'll go all the way around the circumference of the circle exactly right and line up. And you don't really know that until you do the punching, or you could do the math and figure out how big of a circle you would need to go along with that punch. My math skills are okay, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to calculate that all out, to figure it out. And then you have to be more precise with your punches. I'm just not that kind of person, so it's better for me to do the trial and error and see how it goes. And the beauty of doing this, and if it doesn't look exactly the way I want, that gives it an opportunity maybe for an embellishment on that part, maybe stick a photograph on it, just cover it up if you don't like how it ends up at the end. If you accidentally end up where you've cut off part of the punched image, you can, put a sticker on there, put part of your title for your scrapbook page on there. There's a lot of ways to cover up our little mistakes, or room for improvement. I'm going to speed up the video so you don't need to watch me punching in real time. I should mention that this tutorial is being made for frosteddesigns.blogspot.com and will be posted on their website as well as my blog on March 25th, 2012. So the still photographs with the other instructions will be posted at that time. Now at this point I can see that the punch shape is going to be too large to punch that exactly perfectly. However, I do want that interior part of the punch to show, so I'm going to go ahead and punch it, and knowing that it didn't match up perfectly. And I'm okay with that. I just kind of bend that back or cut it off, and it looks pretty much consistent with the other parts of the shape. So I think it's a pretty shape for another doily. And then I'm probably going to cut out the centers of most of these for scrapbook pages. I have a large Martha Stewart cutter, but you could put it, if you have a Cricut or a Silhouette, you could put it on your mat and position the blade to cut there. So I have one other kind of corner punch to show you. These are Stampin' Up! Punches, and they are actually the kind that you use on a corner, and then you would slide a card, like a layered card or something in there to hold it in place. So this was cut from the inside of the circle where, so there's the circle, and I had the punch on the inside where the circle came out of and made that outside shape, and that's what gave it the punch shape on the outside. This one I used a circle and punched it from the outside, which gave it the shape on the inside of the circle, and that's what the inside piece looks like when you take it out. Those are about 4.5-inch circles or so. So with the Stampin' Up! Punches, you can pull off that guard on the outside and use the punch the exact same way. You want to turn it over and look at it from the back side and figure out where you're going to punch. Now, if you don't line it up properly so that the punch is coming going way into the shape, you will end up with like little bite marks out of your shape. So you want to make sure that you've pushed it all the way in. I'm going to show you what it looks like if you don't have it pushed in all the way, so that you can see what kind of effect you get. And if that's what you're looking for, swell, but if not, then you want to make sure you push it all the way in to line it up. So it's a little bit different in lining it up than the other Martha Stewart punches, because you want to push it all the way in rather than worrying too much about how it's going to be lined up. Now on here, I'm punching from the inside, the negative space of the shape, like I mentioned with that first smaller circle. And so what that does is it gives you the outer doily effect with the interior open. And the part that you do want to line up with these punches is the side parts, so that they overlap somewhat, and you just insert it all the way in until it doesn't go any further, but then the part that needs to be sort of lined up. I mean, you don't have to be absolutely perfect, because you can always use a little pair of scissors to kind of trim it up the way you want, depending on the shape. So you just go around your exterior circle that way and punch until you're all done. You meet up again, and once again, if you do the math and figure out exactly how many punches you can make, if you line every single thing up perfectly, you'll come out golden, as long as you have the right size circle. I was just kind of randomly choosing circle sizes that kind of work for projects that I usually work on, and that's why I ended up with this. I happened to luck out. This one was pretty close, but not exact, so I am going to need a pair of scissors to kind of trim off some where I didn't overlap exactly. And with the Martha Stewart punches, I didn't have that problem. So here it is cut out. And then you can see there's a few spots where there's just a little bit extra space in between the holes, and so I'll put either an embellishment or a flower or something on top of it. I'm going to point it out to you here, because I don't really like how that looks. So even though these are all EK Success punches, the Martha Stewart ones are a little easier to fudge. So here's the Spiderweb one. I cut out an 8-inch center to it so that we could see the background of the burlap, and that's on a 12 by 12-inch scrapbook layout. I really appreciate your time today. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.